Dance, Ryan, you scumbag. We're dancing. Actually, we're not dancing anymore.
It is the dance.
Our dance is over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Trennon and Ryan Sports Show, the TNR show. My name is Trennon. That's Ryan. We're very excited to bring you this episode, and I haven't fixed this, and I'm going to keep it rolling. But we're very excited to bring you this episode, and we're off to a rocky start as we do every episode. I'm still supporting my Arkansas gear. I figured I'd come in here. Me and Ryan will talk a little bit more extensively. If you saw my YouTube, I posted on Wednesday. I went into it, talked about how upset I was, but there have been so many games since then. And by so many, I don't mean there was that many. Is there that many? Did we talk about the Sweet 16 yet? Lord.
We talked about the Sweet 16.
No, we did not.
A little bit.
We talked about maybe what was going to happen. Let me pull up my tournament app. I will pull up the tournament app, and I will remember because I will see it with my own eyes. But before I get started, though, before I go into too much basketball conversation, I just want to thank you all for liking, commenting, subscribing. And if you're not doing those things, please like, comment, subscribe, follow on Apple Music, on Spotify. Do all that great stuff. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to build this brand. I've been preaching it. There's a lot of cool stuff coming our way. A lot of fun stuff. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. I've actually got some great ideas.
A lot of spring football coming up.
A lot of spring football up. I'm very excited about everything that we're doing on this channel. Especially when when we started this whole process, I was worried about what happens after college basketball. I am now more excited to talk about other stuff than I am to talk about college basketball, and college basketball is a burden right now, especially because Arkansas is out. There's only a couple games left.
Yeah, all our teams lost.
So we did not. Fun fact: we did not talk about the Sweet 16. I won't talk about it much. I just wanted the opportunity. So this is the biggest loss of the entire NCAA tournament. I was sitting here when I was editing the podcast for Monday. I was thinking about what I could title it, but we never had a video discussing Arkansas defeating Oral Roberts. I never got that opportunity. So I wanted to title the video "No More Oral."
Oh my God.
But I never got the opportunity because we never talked about it. And we're not talking about it today because it would take too long.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sweet 16's been over for almost a week and a half. Well,
yeah, it's been over a while.
Not over that long.
It was a fun Sweet 16, not upsets.
I guess I'll run through the Sweet 16 real fast. And but I won't get the title of this video "No More Oral" though, so whatever. Gonzaga beat Creighton 83-65. I watched a bit of that game. I'll talk about Gonzaga later, not right now. USC beat the crap out of Oregon. Important for not right now. We'll talk about that later. Michigan beat Florida State.
Important, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, important, but we'll talk about that later. UCLA beat Alabama. Thank God. I hate Alabama. As I've stated, I hate Alabama and I hate LSU. I'm glad to see them lose. Arkansas did lose, but we're the last SEC team standing, so that gives us some credit. Baylor beat Villanova. Talk about that later. Arkansas beat Oral Roberts. That was a very difficult game for Arkansas.
Oral Roberts played really well.
Yeah, they did. And that guy, did you see the last shot that guy took?
I did.
I am so thankful. I don't care. Arkansas kind of got smacked. It was a hard game, that Baylor game. I've talked about it so much now. But that Arkansas, I mean, that guy, I would rather get blown out by Baylor 1,000-5. Like lose 1,000-5. I'd rather lose to them 100 times if it's just constantly a blowout than lose to Oral Roberts on a game winner in the NCAA tournament. On one, there's been no game winners. I would have died. I am so thankful. I am so, you don't understand. That was it. That was my championship. If he would have hit that three, it would have been one of the greatest meltdowns of myself of all time. I was sitting here when that game was going on. I was sitting here in this jersey, biting it and breathing. I had two screens on. I usually watch a stream by Barstool, and then I watch the game on my phone. And I had to turn both down to 0. I didn't want to hear it. I saw that guy get that pass, and we did nothing to stop him. He missed that shot because he missed that shot.
Yeah.
We did nothing.
You had the opportunity to win it right there, and he
Yeah,
made
we did nothing to help him, like, stop them at all.
it.
We were like, whatever. We gave them the if you watch the inbound replay, he gets it going forward. The guy in the broadcast was like, they'd be best served if they get it, stop him from going forward, and they get him pushed back. He gets the ball moving forward, and then no one stops him from shooting that three. He just gets in position and just slams it, and he just missed. Thank God. That would have been one of the greatest disasters in Arkansas history, and I have sat through a lot of them. A lot. I have watched us fall apart on major levels.
Yeah.
And that would have still have been one of the most horrendous moments of all time. But it didn't happen. Are you sad about Oral?
Um, I did want to see the Oral Roberts train continue, but I'm happy with the run. I mean, obviously, just beating Ohio State was monumental. So, I mean, it's sad, but I am happy that Arkansas got to continue a little bit, and
Not for long.
Roberts got their big time and the biggest spotlight in the tournament. So.
Yeah. Is Oral Roberts the best team in Oklahoma?
By tournament standards, yes. Talent wise,
Oregon State beat Loyola Chicago. I mean, what can you say about that? And Houston beat Syracuse. If Houston goes out, and man, I know they haven't really played anybody in the tournament. I wish Arkansas had their route. But man, let me tell you something about Houston. I have knocked them, and I will continue to probably knock them because I think Baylor's going to bust them up.
the Cougars.
They really have
They made a run.
made it. I mean, you go back episodes, and I've just bashed them.
Yeah, me too. I didn't think they were going to get this far. I thought they were going to lose in like the second or third round. Like
they are really good. They don't play anybody, but neither does Gonzaga, I guess. So anyway, Houston beat Syracuse. Buddy Boeheim couldn't do anything to stop that. Let me see how many points he has real fast, and then we'll move along to the Elite Eight. We'll talk more in depth in the Elite Eight. So who am I looking at? Buddy Boeheim scored 12 points. Scrub. All right, now we're going to move to the Elite Eight. That kind of wraps up the Sweet 16. Oh, how sweet it is. We're in the Elite Eight now. So I held all this conversation to Gonzaga, USC. Okay, so I said just a couple minutes ago, I said USC beat the brakes off of Oregon.
Yeah.
And in turn, Gonzaga beat the brakes off of USC. Gonzaga is so good. If they lose this tournament, it will be one of the greatest choke jobs of all time. Do you agree?
I don't know. I think it depends on who makes it to the championship game. I fully expect Gonzaga to win their Final Four matchup against UCLA. However, I still think Baylor has a good shot. Baylor is a very good team, and they've dominated in a very good basketball conference this year. I think Gonzaga has looked better. They've played better as a team. Their tactics are very well rounded. They personalize it for every single team they played. They're very good at shutting down the stars of their opposing opponents, and we'll see what happens. I wouldn't say it's the biggest choke job. I would say I think it's set up for them to win. It definitely is. They have the easiest opponent in the Final Four, and
I'll give UCLA some credit. They did beat Alabama, who was a 2,
and Michigan.
So I don't know. I think
they're good, but I think it's the easiest. It's easier to play in Houston or Baylor.
Yeah, UCLA better find. They're a very defensive team, and that game is just terrible. But Gonzaga scores at half what UCLA scores in a game.
Yeah.
So UCLA either better really bring it tomorrow and really show their defensive skills, or better find a way to score some points.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat Gonzaga either way.
You're not going
How
to
do
be
they
able.
lose to UCLA now? That'd be disastrous. Fun fact about the Final Four: how many championships do all four teams combined have? Do you know?
And the Final Four,
Uh-huh.
they're currently there.
Yeah.
I know UCLA's got a lot. Um,
I guess. What number you think?
honestly, I think UCLA is the only one that has championship.
Yeah, they do. They're all 11. So someone spin zoned it and said that all Final Four teams have 11 championships combined. All of them have 0, and UCLA has 11.
I know
I
John
thought that
Wooden
was kind of funny
at
stat. That was
UCLA,
a
so
funny
I
joke.
was like,
Yeah, but all right, moving on. Speaking of UCLA, Michigan, what a disastrous performance by the players, the coaches. I mean, disastrous. Juwan Howard, choke job. I'm not going to come after Michigan too hard. I do like them more than the Ohio State out of the two. I still think what you saw last night was pathetic.
it was a
Uh,
choke.
that was
It,
one of the worst basketball games of all time.
Michigan missed their last 8, I think, field goals. Like missed the last 8 shots.
Been there before.
That's going to lose. If it's tight, you're going to lose the game just off that. And it was tight, and UCLA won it because Michigan lost their last 8 shots.
And it's a free. I mean, yeah, what a disaster! What a terrible game. God.
It was just
Ugh.
it was a defensive game, I guess, but it wasn't pretty. Congratulations, UCLA. I am happy UCLA won. I think I would prefer UCLA to win over Michigan personally. I don't have anything against Michigan. I don't know. I think it.
UCLA is a better story.
I view UCLA as one of the blue bloods of basketball because I mean, just what John Wooden did back way back, I was thinking it's like the 60s, 70s, and whatnot. I mean, I think they're considered a blue blood, so it's kind of cool to see them back. It'd be kind of like seeing like in football, like a Nebraska or maybe a
Like USC, maybe,
coming back. Yeah, it's just kind of like it feels right.
Right. So, I mean, what a pathetic. I mean, what a game. I mean, I'm gonna look at the box score real quick before we move on, and let me see. Some UCLA dude I can't pronounce. Juzang
Yeah.
scored 28 points. He had all their points. Their bench had 0 points. God, this is wild. So that guy had 28 points. The next guy, Campbell, had 11, and the other starters had 4 apiece. The other 3 had 4, and the bench had 0. That's just bad. That's just
Score was 51-49 for those of you who don't know. So it was low scoring game.
yeah, 51-49. Michigan had some more balanced scoring, but really not. They didn't have a good one last night. Whatever.
Yeah, it just wasn't there for them, and they choked at the very end when they needed their stars to step up. They couldn't get together.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Suck for Michigan. Blech. Oh well. Shouldn't have been ranked at 1. Arkansas should have been ranked at 2. I don't know. All right, Baylor, Arkansas. I've talked about this a lot. I mean, I'll keep talking about it, but sad. They were the best of all of our teams, the 3 that we talk about. By far, way better than Clemson.
Way
I
better.
would think probably better than Oklahoma too.
They were better than Oklahoma. I'll give them that.
Way better than Clemson. Clemson stinks. I was listening to that Brad Brownell episode. I still think he should be fired. And I just think that it's sad. Baylor's good, man.
Baylor's a great team.
Our guys got in a lot of foul trouble, and Moses Moody couldn't shoot, and it was just,
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas fans knew we were going to lose before the game even started, which is kind of sad. I mean, I was hoping we could advance to the Final Four. But the fans, if you looked at the fans, the way they were talking, like right before it, so all day that day, they were just talking crap on Twitter. But when it got to like 20 minutes before game time, the game didn't start at 10 o'clock, stupid. when they got to like 20 minutes before game time, oh, they were all like, "Well, this has been a good season. I'm definitely proud. No matter what happens tonight, I've been super proud." I wasn't talking crap. I knew we were gonna probably lose. Baylor's a good team now, but then people were talking some crap all day, and then 20 minutes before game time, they're like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. No big.
Sometimes you know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we knew that night. They were. I mean, they got out to what, a 15-2 run or something like that.
I mean, yeah, it just felt like Baylor just went
You
on
know,
and didn't really look back that much. So
it's sad. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm tired of talking about it.
moving on then.
Yeah, I've talked about it. Like, you want to see what I talked about? Go watch the video.
Yeah, the other video.
Yeah, watch the other video of me talking about it. Houston beat Oregon State. Shocker.
Weird game.
I thought Oklahoma State was going to go beat them.
Yeah,
Houston, that whole region was weird. If you go back and look at everything that had happened, and that that Midwest region. First of all, Illinois loses to Loyola Chicago. Wait, hold on. We'll go even more back. We'll go all the way to the round of 64. Illinois beats Drexel. Loyola Chicago beats Georgia Tech. Oregon State beats Tennessee. Shocker. And then Rutgers beats Clemson. Not shocking. Illinois, Loyola Chicago beat Illinois. Oregon State beat Oklahoma State 2-1. You wouldn't think. Syracuse beat West Virginia. Houston beats Rutgers by 3. What? And then, Oregon State's beat Loyola. Houston beat Syracuse. And here we are in, oh my God, I'm so confused. Here we are in the Elite Eight, and Houston beats Oregon State.
It was a weird, just seeing Houston. Houston's a decent basketball school. Maybe not a Final Four. Maybe, who knows? I mean,
we're now.
Yeah, not your traditional Final Four, I should say. And Oregon State,
that's better.
Nowhere. Like, just at the very end of the season, they just got hot, won the Pac-12, shockingly. And weird game. It was weird seeing those two teams out there, but
yeah, this is not a battle you would think. If you would have asked me in like January, when we were talking about when we first started, you were like, "Hey, Trennon, what do you think about this UCLA? I mean, Houston versus Oregon State Elite Eight game?" I'd be like, "You're an idiot. That's not going to happen." Here we are.
Here we are.
I mean, the first week of February, I gave Oregon State as a pick. They had like a even record, or they were up. They were only plus 500, 2 games or something like that. Whatever. But that's the Elite Eight. So that's what's happened. Let's talk about what will happen.
Yep. So upcoming Saturday, we got Baylor, Houston, Battle of Texas. Who's the best team in Texas? I don't know how I feel about this game, honestly. It feels weird. I expected Baylor to be here.
You expected Baylor to be there? What do you mean?
In the Final Four.
Oh, you didn't expect Houston to be there? Well, Houston's a 2-y.
I mean, they are, but like there were some losses in the regular season that Houston had that were just like, okay, how good
I think Baylor. I think Houston can compete. They're going to do the same thing Arkansas did. I don't think they'll fall behind as bad, but they'll be close, but they'll never get there. Baylor will beat them.
I think Baylor will win pretty easily. Same with Gonzaga and UCLA, the other Final Four game. I think Gonzaga's gonna do what they do and shut down their star player and then just pound them. And that's just what Gonzaga does.
Yeah, I mean, if they stop that one guy, Juzang.
Yeah,
they're done.
Stop him. He was literally, I think, over 50% of their scoring.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 51. He scored 28. So, like, he's a big part of their scoring. You shut him down, you win. So, I think Gonzaga will have. I don't want to say it's going to be easy because I want it to be competitive. I want a very competitive Final Four.
You'll get a competitive championship, but you won't get a competitive Final Four.
The championship game will be full of fun. I'm excited. I think I'm looking forward more to Gonzaga versus UCLA than I am.
I think that'll be a better game. That'll be a better game out of the two.
What are your thoughts on these two?
Well, UCLA and Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Agree with you 100%. It's hard to say anything else. They're gonna
yeah,
shut that guy down, and they're screwed. It's over. It's all over the crying at that point.
yeah.
See,
I'm
the
looking
problem
at
with
the lines right
UCLA, a team, I don't know how it usually is for them if Johnny Juzang usually scores majority of their points or not.
now. I know
But
he's their best player.
see,
He's definitely the high scorer.
the difference between UCLA, Houston versus Baylor and Gonzaga, Baylor can score with a lot of people, man. If you go back to that Arkansas game, you can see that they didn't have one dude just like I mean, I had a couple guys that were going off, but for the most part, they had one dude had 22, one dude had 10, one dude had 12, one dude had 14, one dude had 8, one they have it's a balance kind of thing. And where I just don't think see, UCLA's got that one guy who's got to score. He scored half their points versus Michigan.
And I feel like it's going to be very similar to the Gonzaga Oklahoma game. And that's just what happened. Gonzaga stopped our best player, Austin Reeves, and we couldn't score. We just couldn't score. And then Gonzaga just, did their thing and won. I think something very similar is going to happen here. Very similar.
Very sad. I mean, but the championship game will be good
Championship
if it
game should be
I mean,
good as long as
I
Baylor
mean,
can.
this weekend could be good if UCLA or Houston tries to pull off the upset. You never know, I guess, what might happen.
That's true. I think at Gonzaga, even at Gonzaga, Houston, I don't see UCLA. UCLA, I don't see them winning. I just don't. I do. I think a Houston Gonzaga game could be very interesting. If Houston can beat Baylor, I think that just proves that they're worthy of being there. Baylor is considered right now to be the top two team. If Houston can beat them, they are clearly deserve to be there. They've won all their games, so we'll see.
I think I don't know what I think. I think the opposite. I think Gonzaga would beat the brakes off of Houston now. I don't think it would be competitive. I think the only team that could possibly take down Gonzaga is Baylor. This is the only one.
Okay.
That'd be the best game.
I don't think you're wrong. I like if it's a Gonzaga Houston game, I think Gonzaga wins. Um,
I think Gonzaga blows them out.
you think it's a
Now,
blowout?
maybe I don't know anything about Houston. I haven't watched one Houston. I'll be honest with all y'all. I haven't watched one Houston.
I looked up their record. I see in my notes. I mean, they beat Texas Tech. That's a good team. Um, I mean, most of their games are just against American Conference teams. So it looks like they beat Memphis twice. Memphis won the NIT this year. If you didn't know that,
Congratulations, Memphis.
beat South Carolina,
Any Hardaway. Wait, who did?
Houston.
Oh, nice.
Um, their tournament resume is a little lackluster. To be was the Cleveland State, Rutgers, Syracuse, and Oregon State. I mean, I don't think you can really blame Houston for getting those pulls. I think you can blame Houston for not blowing those teams out.
I don't think Gonzaga, the toughest team Gonzaga. Well, I would say Gonzaga. Well, USC was a good basketball team.
USC was pretty good.
I mean, other than that, though, Gonzaga really haven't played. No offense, but Gonzaga hasn't really played any great teams either. So it's hard
Well,
to say.
it looks like their first few games they had some decent opposition. I mean, first game was Kansas, Auburn.
Oh, I'm talking about the tournament.
Oh, the tournament, yeah, the tournament. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say Gonzaga's had a better tournament resume because they beat Oklahoma and they beat USC.
See,
But I
Houston
heard
hasn't
that.
beat anybody lower than like a 10 seed or something like that.
But like Gonzaga actually blew these teams out.
Oregon played it. Oregon State was a 12. Syracuse was 11. Rutgers was a 10.
Yeah, Rutgers was their
Cleveland,
highest
15 state, 15 seed.
win. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just want to see a competitive game. Honestly, that's all I want.
You'll get
I
you
have
have
no
a better
reason.
shot of seeing a competitive game in the Baylor Houston game than in the Gonzaga UCLA.
I
That was
agree.
my bet.
I agree.
But
I totally agree.
we'll have a recap of the Final Four and Elite Eight coming out next Wednesday, so be on the lookout for it. This will drop on Friday, so be on the lookout for that kind of content. I'm pretty excited about it. Ryan, before we sign off, who is going to win the national championship?
I'm gonna say Baylor. I've been saying from the start that Baylor's gonna win. I feel like I gotta stick with it. I'm gonna say Baylor.
Gonzaga. That's my pick. I know it's an easy pick.
Fair.
They're
I mean,
just
there's really no wrong choice here.
they have blown everybody out. They just
They,
blow people out. That's just what they do. I don't think they've had a competitive game yet. And if they have, I'm not aware of it. They have, I mean, they're not going to blow Baylor out now. It'll be a good game. But, you know, is Baylor good at stuff? Baylor good at sports?
They're kind of a recent success. They used to be like,
No,
they
like
were,
Vanderbilt?
yeah, they were pretty much the Vanderbilt of the Big 12. I mean, pretty much ever since RG3, they
Well,
become,
they were good at women's basketball, apparently.
they're still very good at women's basketball. Yeah,
Good at men's basketball. And
yep,
they're pretty decent at football. They made the Big 12 championship 2 years ago.
yeah, and they've won a couple of I guess New Year's Six bowls, BCS bowls, kind of in between there. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about. They're the Vanderbilt pretty much of the Big 12, but they're definitely gaining prestige. Their women's basketball is really good. The men's is finally coming around, and
Yeah,
football,
would say so.
yeah, and football's on and off. It kind
What
of
were they this last year? Were they good?
Baylor,
Yeah.
no, they weren't good.
Oh, okay. Well,
They,
whatever.
they had
They had a new head coach and stuff, right?
yeah, they lost their coach. Matt Rule went to Panthers coach.
Did they win a game?
Yeah, yeah, I think they were like 5-7. Here, I can pull
Okay,
it
so
up.
that's not too bad.
Oh,
No,
never
you
mind.
don't have to worry, but don't worry about it. We'll move on.
2-7.
Oh, 2-0, not great. Um, well, that's the end of the show. Ryan, March Madness, man. It's been madness. It's almost over. We only got one more episode covering college basketball, and then we're done until like November. And we probably won't cover it until football season's over. So
Yeah,
we're probably done until January. That's probably when I'll start.
you're gonna get a lot of football content from us from now on.
Yeah. So if you're interested, I don't know if any of you are out there. We'll talk about some small stuff. Actually, never mind. If you're interested in that, don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it. If we see some major basketball transfer recruiting news, we'll say it. Like it has to be something that's kind of massive or big news, but most of the time. All right, well, this is the end of the show.